Part 4, my manipulative fiancé has been super secretive about his phone throughout our entire relationship. I snooped through and the reason broke my heart. This last weekend, my ex confessed. I put this in quotations because it was a large Dutch oven full of steaming horse crap. I came home from work one morning and he was waiting for me, which is odd, because he's usually asleep. He said that we needed to talk. We sat down together and he told me his tall tale, that a woman he had met, his mistress, at his co-worker's wedding had been contacting him on and off for a few months after receiving his number from a mutual friend, and kept asking to meet because she found him attractive and wanted to get to know him better. He had never responded to her flirtatious messages or requests to meet up, but would sometimes chat with her. Recently, he told her that he was flattered but was happily engaged, and asked her to stop contacting him because he didn't think they could be friends since she kept pursuing him and was getting progressively insistent. He stated that this woman then became angry and began threatening him and insulting him, like some typical nice girl or whatever, telling him that he'd led her on. He apologized for never telling me, but he didn't think it was important because he had either ignored her or things were pretty innocent, but decided to tell me now because of her shocking reaction when he asked her to stop. He promised me that that was all that happened, and offered to show me the messages if I wanted to see them. I was quiet for a few minutes. He looked extremely worried and begged me to say something. My mind was racing and my heart was beating out of my chest. After every sentence he spoke, in my head I was saying, lie, another lie. Pretty good lie, but still a lie. Lie. Wow, the truth? Nope, just kidding, lie. I wanted to confront him, tell him what I knew, point in his face, show him the screenshots I took, scream at him. But again, I didn't do any of those things. Instead I said that I was really disappointed and hurt that he kept this information from me, but I told him that I trusted him and did not need to see his phone. I asked him to please just continue to be honest with me from now on. My ex held me tightly, apologized many more times, promised to make it up to me, and continued to reassure me that he was being honest. He said he loved me and wanted to be with me forever and would never hurt me. I was his dream girl and he couldn't possibly be happier with me. I asked him if he was sure he had nothing else to tell me. He looked me in my eyes and said he didn't, he promised. I asked if he ever met up with her, platonically or otherwise. He said he only spoke with her and hung out with her briefly among others at the wedding as he was a groomsman and she a bridesmaid. He also confessed that when he was worried that I had cheated on him a couple of weeks ago, he got extremely scared because it made him rack his brain trying to think of whether he had done something that would make me angry or cause me to stray, and that while he feels silly about it now for thinking that I had cheated, it had put the fear of God in him, for lack of a better phrase. He then felt super guilty and decided to come clean because even though I'm not cheating, he was so worried that he wants to make sure there is a clean slate. I wanted to vomit. I wanted to take a hot shower and melt the skin off and then swim in a pool of lemon juice. I could not believe the nerds on this slimy worm of a man. Either he ended things with the mistress and is expecting blowback and trying to cover for it now in case she reaches out to me, or she dumped him and he's trying to crawl back to me. Or maybe he's still seeing her. I completely shut down. I was cold and distant. He noticed. He apologized to me every day, asking me if I was still mad. He offered many times to show me the messages to assure me that nothing else happened. He asked me if there was anything he could do to make me happy again. He told me he knew he deserved it for not coming forward sooner, but he promised he wasn't lying about anything. He was just being an idiot and didn't think it was important, but he sees now that it was and he would be just as upset if the tables were turned. He cried a few times. I brushed him off and told him I would get over it, and he just needed to give me time. He agreed. And then the day finally came, and I left. I moved into my new house yesterday. It was pretty uneventful, and even kind of fun. After I got the text from my ex confirming that he made it to work safely, my friends and their boyfriends came by to meet the movers with me, and we had my entire house cleared within 45 minutes. We laughed and joked the entire time. They assured me that they would be my bodyguards if my ex showed up. I scanned the house a few times before I left and felt very satisfied. The only things left are a dining table, a small TV, and an entertainment center in our bedroom that he bought, and of course all of his personal things. Other than that, everything else is gone. After much thought, I decided that I was not going to leave any of the screenshots that I took. However, I am still keeping them in case I need them. I wanted him to be reeling over what I may or may not know. I want him to relive the day he confessed, and I hope he feels absolutely horrified when he realizes that I knew the entire time. Instead, I printed an email he sent me a few months ago, which was a very long ranting about how much he loved me, couldn't wait to marry me and have children with me and buy our first house together, and how lucky he was to have such a loyal, devoted, and hard-working partner. He detailed how he would never do anything to jeopardize our relationship. He sent me this email 3 days before the text messages between his mistress about how boring, fat, and ugly I was, and how he couldn't wait to run away with her and start their perfect lives together. I put this email into an envelope and wrote his mistress's name on the front of it. I left it on the kitchen counter, with my engagement ring and keys on top. I took one more look around and then shut the door on our home and this chapter of my life. When I got in my car, I cried for the first time since the day I first found the messages. I had to pull over and my friends comforted me while I cried my eyes out, snot bubbling, snorting, lip quivering, put Kim K to shame crying. My heart broke into a million pieces all at once. My friends pet my hair, held my hands, and cried with me too. They're so good to me and I'm so thankful that I finally decided to stop being so antisocial and reach out to them. The best thing that has come out of this situation was bonding with these two women. I changed my number today, but my ex is tech savvy, I don't know if I won't be found.